Siema, siema, z tej strony Addis Big Bad Dice. Gramy w Remastered Reavera. Pierwszego skończyliśmy, splatynowaliśmy. Nawet czas na dwójkę, tak? Będziemy też dążyć do platyny, aczkolwiek jest tutaj osiągnięcie, które wymaga od speedrunu. Tego nie zrobimy, tak? A ewentualnie zrobimy z tego dzielny odcinek, bo powinno się w 3-4 godziny zmieścić. A 6 godzin trzeba zrobić grę. 6 godzin na pewno nie przejdę, bo ja zamiast się cieszyć tą grą, pierwszym przejściem. A potem się zobaczy, tak? Więc chyba zaczynamy. Wiem, naiwny jestem. Jest ruski, a nie ma po polsku. Wkurza mnie to strasznie. Żeby ruskim piratom łatwiej przy mi było grać, to nie? Dobra, start game. Podoba mi się to, że kiedyś gry nie miały tak często poziomu trudności. O!
I must say I'm disappointed in your progress. I imagined you'd be here sooner.
Tak się jedynka skończyła.
Did it trouble you to murder your brothers?
Did it trouble you when you ordered me into the abyss?
Eternity is relentless, Raziel. When I first stole into this chamber centuries ago, I did not fathom the true power of knowledge. To know the future, Raziel. To see its paths and streams tracing out into the infinite. As a man, I could never contain such forbidden truths. But each of us is so much more than we once were. Do you not feel with all your soul how we have become like gods? As such, are we not indivisible? As long as a single one of us stands, we are legion. Our futures are predestined. Mobius foretold mine eons ago. We each play out the parts fate has written for us. Free will is an illusion.
I found the tomb of Kain. How could you profane a priest by turning him into a vampire?
How could I not? One must keep his friends close, Raziel, and his enemies even closer.
Trzeba ich zabić.
Who better to serve me than those whose passion transcends all notions of good and evil?
The Sarafan were saviors, defending Nazgûl from the corruption that we represent. My eyes are open, Kain. I find no nobility in the unlife you rudely forced on my unwilling corpse.
You may have uncovered your past, but you know nothing of it. You think the Sarafan were noble, altruistic? Oh, don't be simple. Their agenda was the same as ours. You nearly had me, Raziel. But this is not where or how it ends. Fate promises more twists before this drama unfolds completely.
Nice.
Raziel, Redeemer and Destroyer, Pawn and Messiah. Welcome, time-span soul. Welcome to your destiny.
Tym razem on będzie narratorem. Ładnie to wyglądało.
Where am I? Is the usual question. In your case, when might be more apt.
Very well, you old snake. If you'd prefer I use my bare hands.
Well, this is completely unexpected. This orb disables our vampire enemies, leaving them helpless and incapacitated. Strangely, it seems to have the same effect on that peculiar weapon of yours. But you must believe me. I mean you no harm.
You can drop the benevolent facade, Mobius. I know who and what you are. I should kill you where you stand.
Perhaps you should, my boy. But you don't.
Are you so certain of that, Mobius?
My role as Time Guardian affords me a certain level of omniscience, Raziel. No, you don't kill me. That honor belongs to your maker, Kain, some 30 years from now.
You two are a pair. You're just as fatalistic as he is.
Death comes for us all, Raziel. It's just a matter of time.
No chyba po niego nie przyjdzie za bardzo.
Is it that you know my name? We have never met.
On the contrary, Raziel, I know you very well. And it grieves me to see how cruelly Kain has used you. I knew you when you were one of the Seraphin Brotherhood, Raziel. We were even close.
Oh, please.
You need not love me now to be my ally.
Are we within the stronghold of the Seraphin priesthood?
Yes, but the glorious days of the Seraphin have long since passed, I'm afraid. This is a more cynical and indecorous age. My mercenary army now inhabits this stronghold. We strive to honor the memory of the Seraphin with our own humble crusade.
Is this the vampire Vorador?
Yes, the scourge of the circle, the most depraved and decadent example of his whole degenerate race. He slaughtered 6 of my fellow guardians as they cowered defenseless in this room.
And you somehow survived this massacre?
I and 2 others. The circle was devastated. Only we 3 were spared.
How convenient. You'll forgive me if I don't naively devour every scrap of information you toss me. You have a reputation for deceit.
And who has slandered me so? Your malefactor, Kain? The one who betrayed and destroyed you? Our common enemy? Consider the source before you judge me too harshly. We'll forget about rekindling our old friendship then. But consider an alliance based on our common ground. We both want Kain dead. I can help you do it.
You don't want to meddle in this, old man. I know all about your sordid little schemes, but you're simply out of your depth on this one.
You underestimate me. Let me show you. Even now, Kain is lying in wait for you, unaware that I've snatched you out of the time stream and brought you here to me. See how he lingers at the very pillars he is destined to destroy, foolishly confident that he has eluded your grasp.
The pillars are still standing in this time.
Yes, Raziel. They are the embodiment of the divine force which preserves the life of our world. We who serve the pillars maintain their delicate balance, and Kain is destined to be the fulcrum upon which that balance turns. I believe you have already endured the wasteland wrought by his terrible, selfish decision. Kain's very existence is a cancer upon this world. As long as he lives, all of Nosgoth is in peril. You may never again be human, Raziel. But you can re-embrace the essence of your humanity and the nobility of your Seraphin heritage. Go to him, Raziel, and end this. But first, you will need to find your way out of the stronghold, and in this, I'm afraid I cannot help you. My soldiers will not understand your appearance here. They will try to kill you. You needn't fear them, of course. They're no match for you. Try to keep the casualties to a minimum. But do what you have to do. All great movements require a few martyrs.
Dranie.
Alone now, I surveyed my surroundings and noticed a second time-streaming chamber. Its entrance identical to the first, but with one distinction. That crystal was significant, but how, I had not yet discovered.
Ach, człopanie jest. Zaklęć nim. I zaklęcia są. Stąd przyszedłem, no nie? Coś się z Soul Reaverem będzie robić. Ale mu pokazał. Dobra, lecimy dalej. Podobno bieganie wokół wroga jest łatwiejszym sposobem na ich pokonywanie, ale coś nie za bardzo. Jak wyrzucić broń? A, tak o. Tum, turum, tutum.
Throughout the stronghold, I discovered evidence of my former nobility and my life as a Sarafan priest. This was the heritage so foully stolen from me when Kain raided my sacred crypt and defiled me.
O! Długo dusze zostają. A nie ma drogi powrotnej. Ale też nie ma tu żadnych sekretów, więc tam trudno. A tu już byłem. A to tam się otworzyło, tak? Ach! Witajcie, stare śmieci. Ale nie ma tych. Nie ma widm.
Away from the influence of Mobius's cursed staff, I could feel the strength of the Soul Reaver slowly returning. If that orb was as debilitating to vampires as it was to the blade, it gave Mobius a powerful advantage over his enemies. I finally understood how Mobius's crusade could decimate the vampires so successfully. If he could immobilize his enemies, they were at his mercy. But why, I wondered, would the staff have any effect on the Reaver?
O, straciłem. Nie ma targetu. Ciała od razu się rozpryskują. Przez to też przejdę? Nie. Ach, wystarczy wcisnąć kwadrat.
Stronghold's inner sanctum, a strange sensation crept over me. An indescribable feeling of displacement, a sense of vertigo, as reality itself appeared to warp and bend around me. The disturbance seemed to emanate from the sanctuaries.
O, sorry, Reaver.
As I cautiously approached, the sense of dislocation intensified with each step.
So this was the tomb of the beloved King William the Just, beatified here as the
Ale połamany.
catalyst of Mobius's crusade. I was reminded of Kain's journey as a fledgling vampire, how Mobius coerced him to travel back in history and assassinate William, thus igniting a genocidal hatred of vampires among the citizens of Nosgoth. And here I discovered the source of the displacement. The soul Reaver itself, laid out like a holy relic, and broken, apparently in the battle between William and Kain. I had not thought such a thing was possible, until, of course, Kain shattered the blade against me when he tried to strike me down. Thus, the captive spirit inhabiting the Reaver was released, and binding itself to me, became my symbiotic weapon. And so the Reaver met its former self, still imprisoned in this corporeal shell. I watched, mesmerized, as the Wraith blade uncoiled itself and snaked down the length of the physical blade. Embracing its twin, its mirror self, the Reaver's long dormant spirit was now fully aroused. And for the first time, I felt the true presence of this other entity, willful, ravenous, and deranged from thousands of years of imprisonment. The Reaver was now in command, and I, now merely its helpless host, felt my soul being leached to restore the blade. But the Reaver knew better than to destroy its host, and just as I neared the brink of oblivion, the blade released its hold on me. As I recovered, I realized we were now bound together in a fragile alliance. The Reaver no longer merely my symbiotic weapon, but a sentient parasite competing for control. What have you done to me, Mobius? Is this your trap?
How mine? Don't forget it was Kain who led you here, not I. While you curse me, the only soul in Nosgoth ready to guide and assist you,
Ale kutas.
laughs at our folly and revels in your dismay.
These blades, now coiled in sinister embrace, have inspired terror in the hearts of creatures far more durable than you, old man. Bound together as they are, I can only imagine what they could do to your soul's fragile shell.
Raziel, I beg you to stay your hand. This was none of my doing. I have sought only to aid you in your righteous quest.
Why, you're trembling, Mobius. Has your confidence abandoned you? You seem to have made a fatal error by leaving your precious staff behind. Is that where all your courage comes from?
Listen to me, Raziel. You don't know what you're doing. I have taken an enormous risk by appearing here before you, so defenseless.
Bo tak będzie machać, bo ma patrzeć, żygać się chce od tego.
Intentions. If there's anything left of the Seraphin in you, you won't do this. While you threaten me, your true enemy eludes you.
Don't concern yourself with Kain, old man. He'll join you in hell soon enough. As you said, death comes for us all.
Yes, the wheel of fate demands it.
What did you say?
The wheel of fate. The inexorable cycle of death and rebirth to which all men are compelled. We serve the same God, Raziel. To strike me down would be striking God's own attendant. And I don't believe even you would take that risk.
I tire of your games, Mobius. Now that I know you fear me, I needn't concern myself with you. Kain is waiting.
Wziął, wyrzucił.
Go then, Raziel. Seek Kain out and destroy him in the name of the one God we both serve. You, who were once a Seraphim priest,
Chciał go zabrać przecież.
profaned, destroyed, and reborn again from his
Ale się machać przestało.
You are now most powerfully equipped to be his agent, his instrument of restoration and retribution.
My own vengeance is motivation enough.
Już możemy? O.
By my soul, you almost had me, my little blue assassin. But that'll be the one and only chance you get. I assure you of that.
I could now summon the blade at will, regardless of my strength. But once summoned, the blade's ravenous appetite could not be contained. It devoured the souls of its victims, and if I allowed it to become over-aroused, the Reaver would now turn its hunger on me.
O, punkty życia mi się zmniejszyły. A no, tracę punkty życia.
The legendary Janos Ordren, reputed to have been the most ancient and diabolical vampire to have ever existed. According to folklore, he lived high in the cliffs of Nosgoth's northern mountains and preyed mercilessly on the defenseless villages below. His reign of terror ended when the Sarafan finally hunted him down and tore his throbbing heart from his still-living body. This relic came to be known as the Heart of Darkness and was supposedly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife. The Sarafan therefore guarded it carefully, lest the heart fall into the hands of their enemies. But I wondered, could Janos Ordren truly have been as monstrous as depicted here? Or was this merely artistic license by the Sarafan, who sought to lionize themselves by demonizing their darkest enemy?
Czy jeszcze nie dość, że mnie rani, to zjada duszę wrogów, tak? Za mnie. Zdraństwo. A bo to ta energia, dobra. To ja chyba nigdy jej nie naładuję, jeżeli tak filmiki będą co sekundę się włączać.
Strange how my history came full circle. This chapel, I realized, was a memorial to my former Sarafan brethren and myself.
No ich pozabijaliśmy wcześniej.
Here. And then so cruelly profaned by Kain when he imposed his...
Ja bym chciał pograć, wiecie, bo to ciągle jest już 28 minut, a ciągle filmiki idą. Już przesadzają trochę.
I beheld the image of my Sarafan self, memorialized here among my fallen comrades. It tortured me to see how noble and pure I had been, and what a vile phantasm I had become.
Nie już żal się, co to żałosne.
Injury of loss,
Jest jedynym swoim rodzaju upiorem
so overwhelming.
w świecie zdominowanym przez zło i wampiry.
All I wanted at this moment was to find Kain and destroy him.
Już? Gramy? Ale rzucił. Kurwo! Przestań! No do cholery jasnej, co chwilę! Ile można? Przynajmniej kamera działa na schodach, bo w jedynce nie działała. A gdzie save? Gdzie się gra save'uje? Nie mogę zapisać. O, nie to chciałem. Jezu, Przenajświętszy chroń. O, będzie gadać.
Urged, and for the first time beheld Nosgoth in its former glory. The land overflowed with abundant life and vitality, and I knew with certainty then that the world I had left behind was nothing more than the corpse of Nosgoth, a lifeless husk bled dry by the corruption of Kain's parasitic empire. This was the fragile world Kain sacrificed to preserve his own petty life and ambition, heedless of the profound cost. The sight only
Ciekawe, czy tutaj też pływanie jest tak złe jak w jedynce.
that the pillars lay to the northwest. If Kain truly waited to confront me there, I would not disappoint him.
Jep, jest tak samo złe. Nie może też na powierzchni pływać.
I did not yet possess the means to unlock this barrier, but this enigmatic symbol was clearly the key.
Rybki tu są.
As I passed this arcane landmark, a wisp of energy was drawn to the ring, illuminating it. This created a beacon of sorts in the spirit world. If ever I found myself depleted in the spectral realm, and my soul tossed on the ethereal winds, these beacons would draw me back to safety and restore me.
Czemu nie mogę zapisać gry? Tu nie ma sekretów jako takich, no nie? Nie można też kamerą obracać pod wodą. Ach, tęskniłem za tym. O, można pływać nad powierzchni. Chociaż nie wiem, czy szybciej pływa.
These ancient obelisks were mysteriously attuned to my spiritual essence. By simply touching the symbol, I could safely preserve an imprint of my soul, and thus
Czy
create
to się zapisuje?
to which I could return when weary, and from which I could resume my journey.
Tak, tutaj. Już się zdenerwować zaczynałem. Są i duszki nasze. Kurwa. Stąd przyszedłem, tak? A. High jump. To nie był high jump.
What I had only just escaped, I sensed that in time my journey would return me full circle to this place. Infiltrating the fortress, however, would be no small feat. The balcony that had provided my escape was now well beyond my reach, leaving this massive gateway as the only means of entry. The gates were sealed, but like the time-streaming chamber I had seen earlier, their operation was undoubtedly linked to that odd crystal mounted above the entrance.
O, zrobiłem unik. To on ma armatę? Karateka normalnie. Trzeba chyba kruki straszyć po achievement, co? O! Toż to Azorek. No! Kurwa. Czas na monolog nowy? Nie. Jednym ciosem ich zabija. Such powerful weapon?
These vampires had nothing in common with the deranged jackals I left behind in Kain's derelict empire. They seemed to retain much of their former humanity. In this era, vampires were clearly not the uncontested predators we had been. These creatures were hunted mercilessly and oppressed. And while I still believed that vampirism was a plague and had to be wiped out, there was nothing noble or righteous in this crusade. This was simply ruthless persecution.
I tym oto pozytywnym akcentem będziemy kończyć i słyszymy się jutro. Cześć!